Hello, Colin. All right. Let's see when the people get logged in here. I think I ran over a little bit late on my 6 hour. So, well, yeah, maybe a few minutes. Um, and I think, yeah, a lot of people are having problems with tree and, all those important things. So, we'll see who's able to make it this late in the day here. I'll give them a few more minutes here to log in. I'll be watching. All right. All right. Got a few more people here. Um, So I seem to have problems whenever I try to switch from, well, when I try to share a screen, that's when so if I get knocked off the live stream, that doesn't mean that the live stream ends, it just means I got knocked off. And so hang on and wait for me. It just takes me a few, maybe 2 minutes the most to restart the browser. That's all I have to do to get it to work. So if that happens, then just hang on. So we're going to try to share, see if it doesn't cause any problems. It's been working pretty good today. I've been really gentle with it. All right. So we're going to look at the vocabo. It. Still, go the other way with English. I hope that we are all back in regular class Thursday and Friday, but we'll see. But either way, no matter what happened there? Alright, let's just go back to where we left off here. Child is, so das Baby is one thing, but a child could be, of course, a bigger span of age. Das Kind, almost like the word kid. You can almost see it there. Kid, Kind. And then last name. Yeah, your family name is der Nachname. Der Nachname. Couple, two people. Das Paar. Das Paar. Brother-in-law. So now we get these harder ones here. Again, brother-in-law is going to be masculine, we know that much. But the word for brother-in-law is der Schwager. All the in-laws are kind of difficult, I always think. Sister-in-law. Schwägerin. It ends in I-N, like a lot of things do that become feminine. Schwager, der Schwägerin, obviously feminine. Die. Mother-in-law, also going to be feminine, of course, but Schwiegermutter. So from that, we can at least learn the word Mutter is mother, but from Schwiegermutter or from Stiefmutter, we'll see later. Then we have father-in-law, okay, Schwieger, those are the same at least. Schwiegermutter, Schwiegervater, just the prefix is the same. Stepbrother, so we have Halbbruder, half-brother. Stepbrother is Stiefbruder. And stepmother, put it together, Stiefmutter. Anyone's step is going to go this way. Stepsister, Stiefschwester. Stepson, Stiefsohn. Stiefsohn. Stepdaughter, Stieftochter. Stepfather, Stiefvater. So from that we learn Tochter, die Tochter, der Sohn, die Mutter, und der Vater. So without teaching us those words directly, they've taught us indirectly those words. A relative, just in general, could be your dad, could be a cousin. A relative is der or die Verwandte. It's the same word for masculine and feminine. There's a few words like that in German that don't have a different form for the masculine and feminine, but that works for both. A twin is Zwilling, der Zwilling. Pet, I like this word, Haustier, house animal. Tier is animal. Fish, pretty easy, just add a C in there. Fisch, S-C-H. And dog, der Hund, like hound, almost. Cat is pretty close to English too. Die Katze, bird, not much like English at all. Der Vogel, Vogel. Marital status, this comes up in one of those questions or dialogues or something. So it's Familienstand. Familienstand. Widower, der Witwer, so a male, a man who's lost his wife, or she's passed away. Again, it's masculine, of course. And then a woman who lost her husband, widow, die Witwe, same prefix, W-I-T, Witwe, Witwer. Divorced, geschieden. Separated, getrennt. Single, yeah, not married. Ledig, no girlfriend, no boyfriend, you're ledig. Alright. And married. Adjective married, not the verb, but the adjective. Verheiratet. And the last one, I think, yes, no, two more. Engaged. Verlobt. Like, it sounds like eloped, yeah? But if you're verlobt, you haven't eloped yet. Verlobt. And 35. To marry. So we had married, verheiratet, that's an adjective. But the verb to marry is similar, heiraten. Heiraten. Okay, let me try I'm gonna just process so quickly. Um, it's hard to have everything ready, especially a computer where it doesn't want to handle too much activity at the same time. So let me pull up our text here. Okay. So far, so good. Pull up the textbook. It's doing pretty well so far. Now, I don't know if or not. I'll try to share that. If I can hold on the thing without it crashing. Oh, okay. Alright, I think I'm back now. I'll try it again. That's where I usually lose it. Let me see if I can get that. I can share this with you. Try it again. Okay. So I better not get too cocky. That's what happened last time. I talked it up too much. Just let it load. Okay. That'll take us about where we want to go. Alright. I'm getting there. Hmm? I think I am. Here's what I want to pick up here with this article about eine deutsche Familie. So follow me here. If I can scroll up a little bit. Got a grandmother and grandfather, maybe age couple, and then a younger couple with a daughter. And this is really just some information. Some of it's statistical about families in Germany. And so we've got some over here. This kind of comes from the federal ministry here. Ages 18 to 24, 63.5% percent of these people this age are living with their parents. 15.9% living alone. 15.8% in this age range live with a partner. They live alone with a child, so a single parent with a child. And then other arrangements to others, 3.4. So you get a little bit older, 25, 29, so have almost 20% of people living with their parents. But then a much higher percentage of almost 50% living with a partner. That could be a marriage or living together or whatever it might be. More people, children. But if you'll notice, the percentage of people alone with a child go up in 1.4. Okay, then in the 35 to 44 range, so you can imagine maybe some divorces here, 6.3%. But that's actually fairly, of course, obviously you get older, it's going to be less, but probably raising grandchildren. I have an idea. It's a little different than probably our statistics would be, but here we go. So Hans und Petra sind ein deutsches Ehepaar. So we had the word Paar today as a couple. An Ehepaar is a married couple. That's a new word, Ehe, but we'll have it later. But Ehepaar is a married couple. Mit zwei Kindern. Mit zwei Kindern. They have two sons. Sie haben zwei Söhne. We had the word Sohn, but then Söhne, Finn und Lukas. Zwei Söhne und sie heißen Finn und Lukas. Finn ist 11 Jahre alt und in der 5. Klasse. Lukas ist 2 Jahre älter als Finn. So what would that be? 2 Jahre älter. 11, 12, 13, 13. Lukas ist 13. Finn ist 11. Und Lukas geht schon in die 7. Klasse. So, die Familie hat eine große Wohnung, a large apartment, und einen schönen Garten. And if you look at they don't translate the word Garten, but Wohnung is apartment, you see, but when Germans say Garten, they don't mean, well, sometimes they do, but they might say flower garden. But when they say Garten, they mean a yard. So these apartments there are quite a bit different than they are here. They're more like townhomes, or and they're pretty large as well. So anyway, I have a große Wohnung und einen schönen Garten vor dem Haus, in front of the building. So Hans, the father, arbeitet den ganzen Tag in einem Büro. So if you look to the right and find out what bureau means, top line, it says office. We have this word from French too, bureau, like an office. Usually we use the governmental offices, we call it some kind of bureau. But anyway, that's just a general word for office. Petra arbeitet als Krankenschwester. Krankenschwester, I think that's a new word for us. That's a nurse. Aber sie ist nachmittags. When is nachmittags? As a routine, every day afternoon. Huh? Sie ist nachmittags immer zu Hause. She's always at home in the afternoons. What's going on then? Finn und Lukas das heißt 1 Uhr, von der Schule nach Hause kommen. So Finn und Lukas, this is me explaining, Finn und Lukas kommen 1 Uhr von der Schule nach Hause. Und die Mutter, die Mutter ist immer nachmittags zu Hause, so when the boys get home. Abends spielen sie zusammen Fußball im Park oder fahren Fahrrad am Rhein. So they doesn't say where they live, but apparently they live, whatever town they live in, they live on the Rhine River. This is referring to the river, the Rhine, which is the most, I guess, economically important river. One of the biggest, maybe the biggest river, probably the longest river. It goes through Germany, for sure. Rhine. Probably heard of it before. But they play Fußball im Park, or they ride bikes, oder fahren Fahrrad am Rhein, along the Rhine River. Fahrrad fahren. In der Familie macht auch Hans Hausarbeit. So I've talked about this a bit. We have Hausaufgabe, that's homework from school, but Hausarbeit is housework, dishes, vacuuming, dusting, cleaning a bathroom, whatever it is. He does this too. Hans arbeitet den ganzen Tag im Büro, aber abends Hans macht Hausarbeit. Aber Petra kocht, kochen we know, und putzt, she cleans, trotzdem mehr. She still does more of the cooking and cleaning, yeah? So she gets home earlier. I mean, that's part of the reason why. Kocht und putzt trotzdem mehr. Die Familie fährt einmal im Jahr gemeinsam in den Urlaub. So there's a couple of new words there. Gemeinsam means all together, and they go somewhere together in Urlaub. So look below here. Gemeinsam, together, in Urlaub, on vacation. That's what the phrase means. So once a year. Einmal im Jahr. Einmal im Jahr. You see the word one there, and einmal means one time or once a year. Gemeinsam, together, in den Urlaub. So this question here is, sind Hans und Petra eine typisch deutsche Familie? What's typisch? Look at that word, T-Y-P-I. Can almost see the word English, but hopefully you do. Typical. And while I'm there, let me also say, notice how these quotation marks work. We see it down here again with the same word. This is how they do their open and close quotes. They start, the open quotes are at the bottom, closed quotes are at the top. So I'm not really sure why that's different, but it is. But are they a typical deutsche Familie? Well, das Leben in Deutschland ist vielfältiger geworden. Is vielfältiger geworden. Has become more diverse. Different roles, just like it's done here, right? Mother's working more. Sometimes dad stay at home, mom works, mom stays at home, dad works. Who knows? There are all kinds of arrangements. Ist vielfältiger geworden. In der Wohnung, links neben Hans und Petra, so to the left of their apartment, right? In der Wohnung links, neben, next to, neben, that's a new word, Hans und Petra, lebt eine Einwandererfamilie. Einwandererfamilie. So we'll look below. Familia we know, but what kind of family is that? A family of immigrants. Hans und Petra, neben Hans und Petra lebt eine Einwandererfamilie on the left-hand side. Und rechts von ihnen, to the right of them, lebt ein alleinerziehender Vater mit seiner Tochter. Alleinerziehender Vater. So alleinerziehender means raising, single parent. It means raising a child alone. It's his daughter. So a dad and daughter live on the right. So, okay, right? That could be anyone in Tulsa's situation too. Got an immigrant family on one side, and other side you've got a single parent with a child. All right. Was ist also typisch? Just don't think about this word also. That looks like it means also, but it doesn't. It's kind of a little filler word here. We'll talk about it some other time, but was ist also typisch für die deutsche Familie von heute? What is typical für die deutsche Familie heute? Maybe, vielleicht, Zusammenhalt und Liebe. Sticking together, Zusammenhalt und Liebe, love. That's nice, right? Okay. Yeah, so I don't know. Typical American family, be hard to pin down. Maybe we could think what we want it to be or what we think it is, but maybe that's not exactly what it is in reality. But I don't know that this is much different than our situation. But a couple things are different. We'll see about that here in a minute. Okay, so here, Die Liebe. Okay, we'll talk about Die Liebe some other time. Here, you might recognize, oh, this book's going to be outdated pretty soon. Here is still today, she's been this office since 2005, so 16 years, so she's served 4 terms now as Chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel. To me, it seems like she's been around forever. That's a long time to serve as the leader of any country. But Angela Merkel, her title in German is Bundeskanzlerin. There's never been another female, so there's never the word Bundeskanzlerin's ever really been in the German vocabulary before. But Bundeskanzler, it's always been a male up till now, and Bundeskanzlerin. Whatever you hear about Angela Merkel, negative or positive, sometimes I hear people say that she's not very popular with her own country. I don't know. 4 terms being reelected seems pretty popular. Now, I'm sure she does things that are unpopular at times, or she's unpopular with some people all the time, and with some people she's not popular all the time. But Angela Merkel is overall is obviously she's winning a majority of the votes, and Germany has a multi-party system, a parliamentary system, so there are more than 2 parties, but there are 2 dominant parties, and that's the Christian Democratic Union. That's what she comes from, the CDU, and then there's the SPD, which is the other bigger party, and that's the Socialist Party of Germany. And I don't know, they're both socialists, but and I mean that in the real political sense, not the way it's used so easily today in talking about politics. But yeah, the Europeans are certainly more socialist than we are in most ways. But anyway, there are other parties. There are more liberal and more conservative parties, but in general, the CDU is a pretty conservative political party, and that's where she comes from. Anyway, this is her husband, though. So we haven't had this situation in the U.S. yet. We have a first husband. We have a, what do we call him? What's Kamala Harris's husband? What do we call him? I don't know. I forget that. It's all new now, right? So Angela Merkel. Let's read about her real quick here. Seit November 2005 hat Deutschland eine Bundeskanzlerin. Yeah, so 16 years now. Angela Merkel. Viele Deutsche finden Merkel pragmatisch. So if you know this word in English, pragmatic, it means that she's very practical, right? Very, looks at things, very in a practical way, in a way that serves the most of the people the best way. Pragmatisch und solide. She's a solid pragmatist. Yeah, she's pragmatic and solid, right? Und im Magazin Forbes, we know this is an American magazine, Forbes, steht, sie ist eine der mächtigsten Frauen der Welt. This is a different kind of verbiage here. She's one of the most powerful women in the world. Sie ist eine der mächtigsten Frauen der Welt. Probably still true. Die CDU, I think, yeah, maybe, right? Die CDU, that's what party she's from, Politikerin, hat keine Kinder, they have no children together, aber sie hat einen wichtigen and important Unterstützer. Down here, supporter. Ihren Mann. That's her man right there. That's her husband, Joachim Sauer. That's the last name. Sauer, der Mann von Angela Merkel. Sauer ist Professor für Chemie an der Humboldt-Universität in Berlin. Ja, ist Professor für Chemie, and this Humboldt-Universität is the largest university. There's three universities in Berlin, and Humboldt is the oldest and the biggest. And I think I've talked about this before, but about him. But anyway, Humboldt-Universität Berlin. Hält sich am liebsten von den Medien fern. That's another weird construction. Not weird, but it's new for us. He prefers to, stay away from den Medien, from the media, and he teaches classes at the university. So you would take chemistry, and you may have the Bundeskanzlerin's husband as a professor. He still works there as a chemist, as a chemistry professor. Aber wenn die mächtigsten Politiker, there's that word mächtigste, one of the most powerful politicians der Welt, zusammen essen, when they eat together, ist Sauer oft dabei. Joachim Sauer, her husband, when they have these big summit meetings together and all that, then Sauer might be there. Sitting next to Michelle Obama, or after that, then next to Melania Trump, or next to Joe Biden's wife, Jill Biden, or Carla Bruni. I think Carla Bruni, if I remember right, is either the wife of the Italian or French leader. I don't remember. But there's kind of a funny question at the end of this article. Wer wäscht im Hause Sauer Merkel die Wäsche? Who does the laundry in the Sauer Merkel house? And the answer to the question is, if they know, beide. Both of them do. Right. I don't know about that. I think people like this may have people who do that kind of thing for them. But good. And so if I didn't tell you this story, and I'll say this and then I'll let you guys go. I'll look at this word's over here next, but just for real quickly over here. But summer before last, I was with some other students and we were in Berlin, and we were taking a walking tour through the city, and I told the tour guide, I feel like I told you this story, but I told the tour guide that we passed by what I knew to be Angela Merkel's private apartment, and I told the tour guide that, and she said, I've always heard that, let's go check. And so we did, and we walked up there, and there was the name Sauer on one of the buttons you can push to ring the doorbell in that apartment building, and they live in there. And there's also a big police car outside and people with guns, and but they let us go up to the door because other people live there too. So anyway, I feel like I've told you that story before, but that's the guy. He does really. I've never seen him on TV before. He does a pretty good job of keeping himself out of the limelight. So that's what he prefers. Okay, so over here, these are just some other words. Some might overlap with our words, but we have die Ehe. We had the word earlier today, Ehepaar, a married couple, but the word Ehe is the word for a marriage. Das Einzelkind, an only child. So it's got one kid in the family. Die Hochzeit is a wedding. So a wedding, very different than a marriage. A wedding is the ceremony. Die Ehe, that's the marriage. Die Mama, that's pretty common for younger people, call their mom that in Germany. You have der erste Mann, der zweite Mann. You could have die erste Frau, die zweite Frau. First husband, second husband. First wife, second wife. Okay. Der Papa, Mama und Papa. Pretty common words. We had Großvater und Großmutter, grandmother, grandfather. Then we go a step up from there to Urgroßvater und Urgroßmutter. Great-grandmother, great-grandfather. Verlobt was to be engaged, or the adjective engaged, but a person who's engaged, a man is der Verlobte, and a woman is die Verlobte. And then the last one, this verb, adoptieren, you can see what it means, but probably could have guessed without the English. Adoptieren is the verb to adopt. So those are all important family words too, or could be important. Okay, check your email tomorrow and see what we've got going on tomorrow. I hope that everyone stays. Thank you. All right, that's right. First man, or is it second gentleman or something? Because it's the vice president. So I'm looking at Douglas's comment here. I heard it on the inauguration night, and I haven't really seen or heard anything about him. So that's probably the way it should be, I guess. But anyway, stay warm. Hope you guys have electricity. I hope you have all the things that you need and plenty of food. And if you need to get around, first gentleman. Okay, all right. That could be. That sounds right. And just be careful, okay? And I hope we're back in school Thursday. But at any rate, face to face. At any rate, we'll have some kind of class tomorrow, and hopefully I'll see you guys on Thursday am Donnerstag, okay? So, tschüss, auf Wiedersehen und bis Mittwoch.